Is it springtime yet? You know, I don't mind the snow. Kind of actually like it, but it's pretty chilly and damp out there today. Got the heat fired up in the shop here. I'm gonna go out and chase the rest of those holes. Headers finally showed up, so we'll hopefully get those on there today. I'd like to be able to get the truck fired up and let it warm up, and then I'm gonna start in on the inner fenders here. Like I said, driver's side's not bad. We're just gonna replace this small flange at the front here. It's got a bit of rot and it's a bit eroded. Other than that, this one's in good shape. Passenger side is gonna be a little bit more work. Like I said, under the battery there, it was pretty rotted out, so I think they're gonna do this Fitzy style and make it into a few pieces. We'll make probably possibly one piece here, and then I'll make the slope section and weld that in. It is a little crusty on the side here, so I think we're gonna cut that section out, and this will all be pretty well hid by the battery tray anyways, but we'll try and replicate the factory look as much as possible. In reality, I could just sheet this and the flange down, but I'm gonna work on that this afternoon if I get time, or tomorrow, and trying to stay warm in here. We'll head outside, get those holes retapped, and see how far we get. All right, so I'm just going through chasing the threads on these, and you'll remember these ones came out fairly easy, but these threads are still pretty crusty. So make life easier and prevent the bolts from getting stuck in the future. We'll chase them, and then I'll make sure to give them a good coat of copper anti-seize when they go back in. And as you can see, there's a fair bit of rust and crud in those holes. I did pick up some new taps. These ones are certainly a lot sharper. Not the good ones I was hoping for with all the supply issues right now. Stuff's a bit tough to get, so these are just some of my favorite brand to hate flavor, but they're working for me anyways. We're just, like I said, just chasing the holes. So we'll get these finished up, and then we'll go ahead. We're gonna have to chop the old 2 1/4 inch off and drop the mufflers and get that stuff out of the way, and then we'll get the headers stuck in here. Well, that's a little bit better. Starting to warm up in here. So I got all the holes chased on the heads there. There's only the one at the front on the passenger side that we're just gonna have to nut and bolt that one because there's not a lot of threads left. So plan for now is we're gonna throw these headers on just temporarily. They ship these with just a cheap standard black paint on them that's gonna burn off. So we're gonna slam these in and at least get us up and running, and then we're gonna pull them back off. I've got a new starter coming. It's delayed, so like I said, we'll run these for a bit, and then we're gonna pull everything apart. I'm probably gonna helicoil that front hole on the passenger side when we do pull them back off again, but just want to get everything fit up and on there, and then when things get a bit warmer, we'll pull them off and give them a proper coat of high temp black, and then we can build our new exhaust system. So that's the plan, and hopefully these things fit on there okay. I've heard issues from other people, like I said in the past. We may end up having to extend the collector here. I've heard that, especially on the passenger side, it ends up right where the cross member is. So we'll see how they fit once they're on there, and it won't be a big deal. I've got some 3-inch pipe here. We can just cut, slice, and extend that out if we have to, but we'll see about that when we get there. So I think what we're going to do here is I'll just drop the hangers at the back there, and everything should fall down, and then we'll just slip the entire exhaust system out. You've seen previous videos, remember that this is all temporary anyway, so we'll get these off. We can cut our adapters off, and I'll get some 2.5-inch pipe, and we'll be ready when once we got the headers in here. Those of you who've been following the channel for a while remember that when we put this exhaust on, it was smoking hot out here. I tell you what I wouldn't get for a bit of that heat today. Working the heat's up. I think I kind of prefer working in the cold. I'll go ahead and get this other side off here, and we'll get back to you. So like I said, it's gonna be temporary. We'll go ahead and use the cheapo gaskets that these came with. I haven't opened them up yet. We'll take a look here in a minute and see what they actually are. When we do go ahead and do the final install on these, I'll get some Remflex gaskets. I've used those in the past and they're great, they never leak. Let's see what these ones look like. I'm actually kind of surprised. These look similar to the Remflex. They've got steel core with what looks to be a graphite coating on the outside, so I'm actually surprised. Usually they just send you the cheap paper gaskets with these, but I'll give those a shot. So it looks pretty straightforward. Driver's side shouldn't go in no problem. It's saying right side to pull the starter. I'm gonna see, I don't know if we're gonna have enough room with the inner fenders and everything out of the way, if we can get away with it. Probably gonna have to disconnect the motor mount for sure and jack up the engine, but we'll go to get the driver's side in first, and then we'll wrestle with the passenger and see if we can get that one in as well. And as far as hardware for these Hedmans, they come with everything you need. Header bolts, collector bolts, reducers, which we don't need. Comes with your ball flange collectors, and it actually comes with the hot air kit as well too, if you want to retain your stock setup, which I'm not going to hook that up. This truck's going to be run mostly in the summertime, and I think eventually we're probably going to pull the stock air cleaner off and stick a chrome one on it. Stock one from my Mustang. Never ended up selling it with the car. Kind of forgot I had it, but a little bit of memorabilia from that car. All right, so we got them in here. I was expecting the driver's side to be easy. Not so much. Instructions say it'll just slip in from the bottom, no problem. But I do have the Bendix steering box on mine, and this little bit that sticks out here was hitting there, trying to squeeze it through. So I ended up unbolting the steering box, gave me a little bit of wiggle room, and I almost just went ahead and unbolted the motor mount and lifted this side up. We'll have to look at this when we take these back off for the final install. I'm either gonna clearance this one, which some guys gripe about, but lots of tests on that, and putting a little ding in there ain't gonna hurt anything performance wise. So certainly a challenge, and I also had to undo the shift linkage, swing that out of the way to be able to feed it up through there. And then I did have to jack the truck up as well, which it does say in the instructions. I jacked up till the wheels were off the ground, and then it actually seemed to help if I push the wheel off to the side just to get the drag link out of the way there. So that side was a challenge, and then the instructions said for the passenger side that I was going to have to jack up the engine, remove the motor mount, and pull the starter. I did have to pull the starter, but I didn't have to pull the motor mount. And I don't know if that's because I have the inner fenders out. It also said to feed these up from the bottom. I took the starter out, header slipped in right from the top, fired the starter back in. No issues, except for one. And that's this right here. Actually two issues, because it's quite tight on the top here as well, but that terminal is touching. I think what I'm going to do is it's got a couple spacers in there, so I think if I take those out, I might still be able to get my cable in here and push this back. I may just clearance this anyways in case I ever end up in a situation where I've got the Power Master starter coming, but if I can't get one of those and I have to throw a stock one back in, if I clearance this ahead of time, then that'll save us down the road perhaps. So I'm going to quickly unbolt this one, swing it out of the way, see if taking those out will help, and then if not, I'll just pull the starter again, take it into the shop, and just lightly clearance that area. But other than that, I was worried about where the collector was going to end up. Some people said it ended up right over the top of the cross member, but I think Hedman may have changed this design for this specific model. It was also mentioned some people had issues with these, that the collector was going straight back and interfering with the shift linkage, but it looks like Hedman has redesigned. These are actually, it's kind of hard to tell here, but it is angled You might be able to see it from the top here, but it's angled far enough away that it should be able to go back, and then an angled pipe and straight back and clear the shift linkage. So like I said, a bit of a hassle on this side, but I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do with that other side and see if we can get that finished up. All right, so clearly I'm just a big dummy. Surprise, surprise. So I loosened off all the bolts here and managed to shove the header back just a hair, and I took all the washers that were stacked up on that terminal there, and we've got enough clearance there for now. Still pretty tight at the top of the starter. I mean, you might be able to slide a piece of paper through there, but this is gonna be coming off pretty soon anyways. The Power Master is supposed to ship early January, so like I said, this starter's on its way out anyways, so not too worried about that. So I had to pull the inspection cover here. It was hitting on this side. I was gonna try and bend it out of the way, but this just wasn't getting enough clearance. Driver's side was hitting as well. So I'm just gonna probably lop it off right along here. And it's not gonna hurt anything. Same on this side, we'll take that off. This just kind of hangs out in the middle of nowhere anyways, so just be aware you may have to do it on yours as well. And I also have to search for my clip that holds the shift linkage on there. I pulled it off with a O-ring pick, and it flew off, and it took a good 2 seconds for it to hit the ground, so it's somewhere around here, which is another one of the joys of working outside. A little easier when you're inside on a concrete floor, but when everything out here is the color of metal and rust, it gets a little tricky to find that stuff. But, I'll get the big magnet out and see if we can find it somewhere. Never fails. I spent a good couple minutes looking around out here. Went and got my handy magnet and came out and looked around, and how do you know it's right there? But at least we found it. All right, so I think that's all for today. I'm just gonna clean up some of my stuff here. Getting awful chilly out there now, sun's going down, so we'll be back at it tomorrow here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to fab up something to throw the battery on. I was gonna try and fire it up tonight, but I gotta get the battery mounted up and some of the wiring pulled out of the way. Next video you see will probably be a test fire, see if everything works out all right there. Went smoother than I thought. Like I said, the driver's side was more of a fight, but then the passenger side was less of a fight, so definitely happy with how they fit. My initial thoughts this morning when I got started was I probably should have gone with either some Sandersons or some Doug Thorleys, but these Hedmans, yeah, like I said, I think they've changed the design. They're definitely better than what the horror stories I've heard are, so for what I paid, I think these will serve us well. This is all, like I said, doing a bit more temporary work than I want here because stuck waiting for parts, so trying to keep moving forward, but it's kind of one step forward, 2 steps back kind of deal. Once the starter gets here, we'll fire that in, but it'll be quick and easy. I'm just going to leave it open headers for now, so we'll just have to unbolt the header, slip it out of the way, fire the new starter in, and like I said, we're going to have to pull them to paint them anyway. So these ratcheting wrenches, and these things are a lifesaver. I don't think I would have gotten the headers on without these things, but they certainly made life a hell of a lot easier. You can slip these in behind, and between that and just a 1/4 inch ratchet, I always managed to get them all on there. But if you haven't checked out, I did a quick review on these when I first got them, and definitely worth the money. I've been getting lots of use out of these things, and sometimes I forget I even have them and struggle and fight until I go and grab one, but worth the money, and definitely a time saver. But other than that, I'm gonna clean up, go inside, thaw myself out. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.